should I say Happy New Decade? Well, make your choice as both are appropriate. Good evening and welcome to the first News Extra outing for the year and decade. I can't get over this decade thing because it sounded so far away where we used to hear of Vision 2020. Now, 2020 is here, but it's a story for another day. For today, President Buhari writes to Nigerians to rekindle their hope in better things to come this decade. Of course, there are messages of goodwill for the new year as the First Lady visits Baby of the Year and hosts children to a New Year party. We'll also crisscross the country to see how Nigerians ushered in the New Year with prayers and thanksgiving. Of course, we'll continue with the sectoral review of 2019. Let me not reveal the other scintillating stories I have up my sleeve for today. Just wait and experience them as the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umar Buba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. President Muhammadu Buhari has described the year 2020 as Nigeria's decade with a great prospect of a prosperous, economical, viable, and as well as secured country. In his New Year message, President Buhari again restricted that he will be standing down in 2023 and will not be available in any future elections. He assured Nigerians that the New Year provides the opportunity to build on the foundations laid so far for a stable, sustainable, and more prosperous future. Ruth Aguele reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari took a long look back to 2015 when he was elected the president of the country, expressing his determination to help strengthen the electoral process both in Nigeria and across the region, where several ECOWAS members go to the polls this year. The president believes Nigeria needs a democratic government that can guarantee peace and security in order to realize the full potential of its ingenious, entrepreneurial, and hard-working people. This is why he recalled the multi-pronged approach to fighting violent extremists, cultists, and organized criminal networks. President Buhari admitted that it has not been easy, but remained hopeful of victory in the fight against terrorism that will pave the way for peace, reconstruction of lives, communities, and markets. The Northeast Development Commission, working with local and international stakeholders, has been rightly positioned to help create a new beginning for the Northeast, he said. The federal government, he explained, will continue to work with state governors, neighboring states, and international partners to tackle the root causes of violent extremism and the networks that help finance and organize terror. President Buhari assured that the security forces will receive the best of training and modern weaponry in order to position them properly, to use emerging technological resources available to tackle kidnapping, banditry, and armed robbery. With the new Ministry of Police Affairs and the security reforms being introduced, the president assured Nigerians that government actions at all times will be governed by the rule of law. On the economic front, President Buhari explained that various government policies are designed to promote genuine, balanced growth that delivers jobs and rewards industry, while the new Economic Advisory Council has brought together respected and independent thinkers to advise on a strategy that champions inclusive and balanced growth, and above all, fights poverty and safeguards national economic interests. The president expressed his excitement over the revolution in agriculture, which is already a reality in all corners of the country, noting that many homes are not adorned with imported goods and foods that can be produced locally. He recalled the agreement with Morocco, Russia, and other countries that helped in the transformation in the agriculture sector. While wishing Nigerians a prosperous new year, President Buhari said Nigeria will continue to pursue this inclusive growth, further enhanced by the signing of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement area and the creation of the National Action Committee to oversee its implementation and capitalize on regional and continental markets. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has again explained that the joint land border security exercise currently taking place is meant to safeguard Nigeria's economy and security. In his New Year message, President Buhari said Nigeria realizes that it is the helper and shock absorber of the sub-region but cannot allow the country's well-planned economic regeneration plan to be sabotaged. Fisayo Ogunfuyi reports.
The president, in a statement tagged Nigeria's decade, sought the understanding of Nigeria's neighbors, assuring them that as soon as Nigeria is satisfied that the safeguards put in place are adequate, normal cross-border movements will be resumed. The president highlighted various key infrastructure investments in place or ongoing to enhance the ease of doing business in the country, prospects for better Nigeria in 2020. These include key roads such as the Second Niger Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and the Abuja-Kano Highway, and the prospect of tangible progress on the Lagos to Kano rail line, as well as fixing strategic roads such as the Apapa-Orunshoki Expressway. Kano and Lagos new international airport terminals are in the pipeline for 2020. In the power sector, government is said has engaged extensively with stakeholders to develop a series of comprehensive solutions to improve the reliability and availability of electricity across the country. These solutions include ensuring fiscal sustainability for the sector, increasing both government and private sector investments in the power transmission and distribution segments, improving payment transparency through the deployment of smart meters, and ensuring regulatory actions maximize service delivery. Government has also placed a new deal with Siemens to invest in the new capacity for generation, transmission, and distribution of power. Apart from this, work on the AKK gas pipeline and OB3 gas pipeline and the expansion of the Escravos Lagos pipeline is expected to commence in the first quarter of 2020. President Buhari restated his commitment to taking 100 million Nigerians out of mass poverty over the next 10 years, promising reforms in education, healthcare, and water sanitation, while workers will have a living wage and pensioners will be looked after. The new Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, he explained, will consolidate and build on the social intervention schemes and will enhance the checks and balances necessary for this set of programs to succeed for the long term. President Muhammadu Buhari projects the year 2020 as a Nigerian decade of prosperity, promising Nigerians to expect the following projects in the year. 47 road projects scheduled for completion in 2020-2021 include roads leading to ports, major bridges including substantial work on the Second Niger Bridge, completion of 13 housing estates under the National Housing Project Plan, Lagos, Kano, Maiduguri, and Enugu international airports to be commissioned in 2020, launching of an agricultural rural mechanization scheme that will cover 700 local governments over a period of 3 years, launching of the livestock development project grazing model in Gombe State, where 200,000 hectares of land has been identified, training of 50,000 workers to complement the country's 7,000 extension workers, commissioning of the Lagos-Ibadan-Itakpe-Warri rail lines in the first quarter, commencement of the Ibadan-Abuja and Kano-Kaduna rail lines also in the first quarter, further liberalization of the power sector to allow businesses to generate and sell power, commencement of the construction of the Mambila Power Project for the first half of 2020, and commencement of the construction of the AKK gas pipeline, OB3 gas pipeline, and the expansion of the Escravos Lagos pipeline in the first quarter of 2020. In Abuja, Fisayo Ogunfuyi, NTA News.
Oh, thank you so much, Fisaya, for that. And Nigerians have been evaluating the medium and content of President Muhammadu Buhari's New Year message. Among other things, a guest on Good Morning Nigeria specifically described the president's stand down on future elections and beginning with the 2023 general elections in the country as commendable. Butuamila monitored the program.
A lot of discussion around the country that some kind of suspicion that we will determine agenda and so on. He's debunked that. That is a very happy thing, putting the nation in a very good mood and the beginning of a decade. So that is actually an art of statesmanship.
One of the guests on Good Morning Nigeria, Dr. Osawaru Okunzuwa, commenting on President Buhari's 2023 election stand-down. Other guests shared similar perspective on the issue.
It's an important message, especially at a time when internet gossip will not allow the president to rest, repeatedly speculating of a third term or a dilution of democracy.
We remember very clearly that not too long ago in our democratic history in this Fourth Republic, there was a lot of controversy regarding a third-term agenda. So it's a really, really good thing. The president has come out once again to say that he will not be running for office again in 2023. It's very important. It is the integrity of our constitution that has been protected.
Another issue that generated discussion was President Buhari's message on safeguarding the economy in 2020. In this regard, the guest gave credit to the present administration for initiating ongoing land border drills.
This border closure has shown that we can still run a robust international trade transaction, with our neighbors in West Africa. So a creative approach to sustaining, securing the border would actually be e-borders, truly.
If you've ever gone to any of our French-speaking neighbors, they don't eat parboiled rice at all. So every parboiled rice they're importing is for Nigeria market. And the whole safeguard we're talking about is about quality and standard.
The guests also stressed on effective involvement of other key players, especially state and local governments, in driving the president's 2020 policy projections. In Abuja, Butuamila, NTA News.
Federal government's proactive measures in rescuing critical sectors of the economy from imminent collapse in 2019 dominates views of guests on NT Tuesday Live. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the discussion, which centers on 2019 in perspective and projection into 2020, also underscored government's effort in sustaining social intervention programs.
Guests on Tuesday Live outlined aviation, rail, road and power infrastructure, stability in the security architecture, transformation in oil and non-oil sectors as critical drivers of the economy during the year. Other achievements the administration recorded include sustenance of various social intervention programs, implementation of the national minimum wage, and several levels of bilateral commitment to improve lives.
In 2019, it shows that Nigerian economy is diversified. Therefore, agriculture, trade, ICT, mining, take the command.
Once we can get this project, the bilateral project Green Imperative with Brazil running, $1.1 billion in every local government, get the agro-processing with the African Development Bank, I think President Muhammadu Buhari can rest.
The closure of border also received tremendous support from the guests, as they say will promote the growth of local industries and create wealth through export of consumables with comparative advantage in international markets.
Government now realize that what we are producing is like this will be enough for us to take care of our economy, to take care of our consumption. That was when the government now took an attempt to close those borders.
We have the Kano Maradi one, which is also a standard gauge through a PPP also. We have the Port Harcourt Maiduguri with spurs across the southeastern states, capable of attracting about 17 million jobs.
The success story in the fight against corruption and other sharp practices was commended but with appeal for timely prosecution of offenders to serve as deterrent to other public officials. As the 2019 fiscal year depletes on a budget size of 8.92 trillion naira, translating to major strides in the economy, it is expected that the 2020 budget of 10.594 trillion naira, tagged Budget of Sustainability and Job Creation, will experience massive investment on infrastructure and expand the scope for direct foreign investment, generate wealth and improve on the nation's gross domestic product. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Oh, many thanks, Abubakar Akwanga. Now, all babies, they say, look alike on delivery. But the first baby to break the dawn of this new decade sure does not look like other babies. He is a cute and handsome boy who has found his way to the family of a police officer in Gwagwa, a suburb of Abuja. You are free to say fate has finally beamed its shiny smile on this family, who unexpectedly became the talk of the town, attracting the presence of dignitaries across Abuja, including the First Lady, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. Now, Momso Demiandeti has the story.
Behold the Gwagwa Primary Healthcare Facility, a beehive. When 35-year-old Hawa Hussein started labor at around 6 p.m. on the 31st of December 2019, little did she know she was going to turn a celebrity overnight. To Hawa's pleasant shock, nurses in the facility began to decorate her bedside with balloons and cardboards. Diverse visitors, known and unknown, began to troop in. Gifts started to flow from all corners. Then the drums rolled out in celebration. Before you know it, something good is unfolding. And soon, the Gwagwa Primary Healthcare turned into a mega events venue, point of call for New Year celebrants. Here comes the icing on the cake. The attraction of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, with the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallen, though by proxy.
Is a significant and symbolic event because it shows the value and importance the First Lady of Nigeria places on the welfare of women and children in the country. The importance of healthcare delivery cannot be overemphasized, especially as it concerns infant and maternal health.
These children need love. These children need to be shown good examples. These children need to be raised appropriately.
But hold on. Did Hawa and her husband see all this coming? No, she tells me. Going into labor, she says, was just like any of her previous deliveries, where she just packs her bag to the hospital and goes. But fortunately, this one turned out special. 2020 Baby of the Year.
This year, it just be like I'm the person that even get the year on.
What to be privileged today. I feel so enlightened. I'm happy.
Born at exactly 12 a.m. to break in the dawn of the new decade, Baby Mohammed Sani, who weighs 3.9 kg, is indeed a beautiful sight to behold. Though oblivious of the broad smiles and good luck his timely arrival has brought to his family, little Mohammed's coming also saw the presentation of lots of gifts to first babies of previous years, who were also there to partake in the goodies that had followed the latest number of the Club of the First Babies of the Year.
Baby Mohammed Sani Abdullahi in Abuja, Momso Demiandeti, NTA News.
Well, so why did you tag me along? Well, that's okay. Well, congratulations to Hawa and her husband, a beautiful child there. Now, First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, congratulates Nigerian children for witnessing another new year in their life history, promising them of her motherly support and encouragement at all times towards becoming great future leaders of the country. The First Lady stated this in a message during the 2019-2020 Christmas and New Year Children's Party, organized in their honor at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
These are the Nigerian children from across the Federal Capital Territory celebrating the 2020 Christmas and New Year at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. There are children of different backgrounds catching their phones in this New Year children's party put together by the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. The idea is to create a platform for them to interact among themselves and to refresh their memories towards becoming brilliant children. The children who participated in a variety of games ranging from dancing competition, fast sitting and lots more are optimistic that this opportunity has gone a long way in broadening their understanding, hoping to concentrate more in their school activities in this new year and the years ahead.
I'm very happy I came to Villa, and I want to thank our Excellency the First Lady, Miss Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. I want to thank her for allowing us to express joy.
I want to thank you, Lord, for allowing me to live up to this new year.
I want to use this opportunity to thank Miss Aisha Muhammadu Buhari for organizing this memorable and historical event.
Yeah, I'm happy because this is January 2020.
The First Lady, in a message through the wife of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Salamatu Gbajabiamila, emphasized the need for them to pay more attention to their studies and to always obey their parents, teachers and elders, and they should always endeavor to pray for the peace, unity and development of the country.
Let me say that the best person to plan the new year for you is yourself. You need to identify what you like and pursue it. You need to study hard in order to be what you want to be, and you need to obey rules so that you become responsible. The future of Nigeria is in your hands.
The event was climaxed with a cutting of the cake, marking the beginning of not only New Year, but New Decade 2020. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
An amazing one there, I must say. Now, it's a decade, and who wouldn't be glad to be part of it? So we take some time out now at this juncture. When we return, you would get to see how the new